Patrik Allvin, I like it. I like it a lot. We had already talked about Ian Cole, Teddy Bluger, Tristan Nielsen. Now, I did not say this in the last video, but it is interesting how Patrik Allvin went out there and grabbed yet another former Penguin in Bluger, but the big money deal had yet to be given out, as it has now been Carson Soucy to Vancouver, 3 years, $3.25 million a season, and this is a really good acquisition that rounds out the rest of that Canucks decor. Sure, you have a lot of money on this team for the OEL buyout. By the way, that guy signed with Florida earlier today. I didn't even make a video about it because I was like, yeah, I don't want to talk about Ekman-Larsson anymore. But even though the Canucks are going to have his cap hit or a part of his cap hit on their AAV till the end of the decade pretty much, you used a lot of the savings to get some really good defenders that can do things that we need Vancouver defenders to be able to do. Defend! Ian Cole earlier, 1-year deal. That was a really good pickup. Carson Soucy, 3 years, $3.25 million. Another pickup that I actually think is really good as well. Let's go over why that is as we go over to his Elite Prospects page. Carson Soucy recently played for the Seattle Kraken. He's 28 years old, signed till he's going to be 31. He's 6'5", 212, left-handed player, very big boy, drafted out of the 5th round in 2013. And he had 16 points in 78 games played last year. Now, that's not particularly amazing, but you're not really getting Soucy because you want points out of this guy. Rather, as JFresh goes out there and puts it, he is a physical, third-pair defensive defenseman and penalty killer who proactively kills entry attempts against and wins battles in his own end. His brutal penalty differential, though, is an unfortunate side effect of his aggressive style. Time and time again, we've been criticizing guys like Myers for not being too aggressive, for just kind of standing there and not doing anything. OEL had the same syndrome. Myers would always just dive on the ice trying to block the centering pass, but it would always never work because teams just, they would expect it, they saw it coming. And so for Carson Soucy, he's a lot more of a let me just get right in the fray type of guy, because he's not afraid to get physical, he's not afraid to do things in his own end, and sure, he gets a few penalties once in a while because of it, but when he's not getting penalties, he's killing them off. He's doing a pretty good job in his own zone in Seattle, so the Vancouver Canucks saw value in that. 3 years, $3.3 million. Him and Ian Cole, they could actually both play the left and the right, so it's going to be a pretty good level of versatility there added by both of these players. You also had Shayna go out there and say this: Soucy is a really smart ad for the Canucks, should help defend the blue line and get play out of the defensive end. +1 defensive rating, -2 offensive rating. So you're not really signing Soucy with the expectation that he's going to be able to produce big points. If he does get points, then okay, that's cool. But at the end of the day, both Cole and Soucy are capable middle to bottom pair defenders that round out the depth on this team. Sure, you could say, oh, but they have Rathbone and Juleson and Hirose and McWard and all these guys, but you don't want to be playing bottom pair defensemen in the middle of your lineup. And that's why they went out there and signed guys like Soucy. It's why they went out there and signed a guy like Ian Cole. Because with Hughes, Hronek, and Myers, these are already guys that are probably going to be on this team for a while in terms of the versatility and where they're going to be placed in the lineup. Of course, we know Myers is expiring soon and he might get traded as well. But for right now, with Hughes, Hronek, Myers, Soucy, Cole, and somebody else, maybe Hirose, maybe a Rathbone, who knows, this decor is looking a lot better than it did with OEL in the fray instead. So let me know your thoughts in the comments section below about Carson Soucy coming over to the Canucks. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.